Been focused on crypto. Okay. Yeah, and sorry, I wasn't able to see the ads because um, I've actually got the strategy guide for this up as a PDF, so I didn't actually see that it had spawned the ads yet. There we go. So you've been all right? Yeah, I don't know if you heard me saying it. But yeah, I just overall was a little disappointed with how folklore turned out to be a lot more boring than I was hoping. And then Parasite Eve just felt like it dragged on for way, way too long. So that was the main things that I've dealt with recently that kind of had me a little bit stressed out because of that. I was just like, yeah, you know, like I've been looking forward to playing these games, and like Parasite Eve was just okay, and like Folklore was just boring. So it was a pretty damn big disappointment on both of those. Yeah, I guess I heard Parasite Eve was like super good, but then I tried it and I'm like, okay, this was okay. But the main thing about it that made me just feel like it was just okay was like, it feels like a 7 or 8 hour game that just is dragged on to be like over like 13 and a half. So it just felt like the game just kept going and going and going, and I'm like, oh god, like when is this gonna end? Yeah, Chrono Trigger's a much better game than that. I mean, Chrono Trigger is basically the best RPG of all time, by far. Why would I not like Xenogears? That game actually seemed like it'd be really awesome. It's long and parts of it drag. Yeah, that's fine. I guess my issue with it was just that, yeah, Xenogears, long. Oh, Parasite Eve, just, it felt like the game had a really good story, but what I'm saying about it is that it felt like about maybe 8 or 9 hours into it, like it had just run out of ideas and was just going for the sake of being a long RPG, even though it felt like they had kind of wrapped up everything they wanted to do with the story. So that was the issue I had with Parasite Eve. Not that it's long. You know, I beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on stream, and that game was 113 hours. So it's nothing to do with length. It was purely just to do with the fact that I felt like the game had overstayed its welcome. Like, just, there was a point where I was like, okay, you know, I feel like we've gotten everything about the story in, and I feel like we've, you know, learned everything. We've kind of seen all the stuff that can be done. You know, we fought the enemies, and then it was just like, okay, you know, Eve is snuck away, and it's like, okay, you know, she went and did all this stuff in the sewer, and it's like, all right, now she's brought back to life like some weird T-Rexes, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, but at this point it just feels like you're adding enemies and, you know, extra game time simply just as padding. And that was my issue with it, is that by the time I got to the final boss, I was like, all right, this trip through the museum was way too long, way too difficult, and, you know, just dragged and dragged and dragged and dragged and dragged. And also, the fact that Parasite Eve doesn't have a map of where to go is a massive problem. Because there's so many times where it's just like, all right, where do I go? And so I've heard about the second game, that the second game is more of actually playing like Resident Evil, and it does intrigue me, and I've got it over the shelf, and then I have the third game as well. So I just feel like, you know, yeah, it was purely just that it went on too long because they had run out of story. And as they ran out of story, I was just like, all right, this isn't going anywhere. And then we got to the end boss, and I was like, oh, sweet, I beat Eve. You know, where's the ending? And then it's like, oh, you know, here's the ending, and when a 7-hour RPG is too long, which one is that? Which one's the 7-hour one? No, Parasite, that's the problem. No, that's the problem with Parasite Eve, is if Parasite Eve had been like, you know, something like 7 or so hours, it would have been fantastic. It would have been great pacing. But the problem with Parasite Eve is that it feels like it's a 7-hour game, but it's a 14-hour game. And so by the time I was 14 hours into it, it was, yeah, it was the fact that it was a 14-hour game, and I just felt like it ran out of plot by about, like, roughly hour 7 or 8, like you were saying. But yeah, you hit the final boss, and I'm just like, oh, sweet, I beat the final boss. Wait, now I have to, like, beat this second boss? Okay. Yeah, see you around, Zelda. Yeah, it just went on way too long. That was the issue. And the last boss was bullshit. Yeah, that was the issue, is that the last boss of Parasite Eve was absolute bullshit. And what I mean by that is that you got to the point where it's like, okay, you know, we're at the end of the game. It should be over. And then out of nowhere, they throw on like a whole nother boss. The final boss has 4 phases. The third phase of it is ridiculously cheap and extremely random. So it took me like 12 tries to finally beat all 4 phases, and I was like, sweet, you know, like, I got it. And I was like, I took my controller, and I know I'm holding a PS5 controller, but I was like, whew, okay. And then I was like, let me read the thing on screen. It's like, y'all still ain't dead? I'm gonna go ahead and kick your... And then by the time... And it was like, brrr, 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 and like crawls over to you. And it was crawling, and I couldn't move while the text box was on screen. But that was the thing about it, is that the text box was on screen, so I assumed that it was going to go like, brrr, 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 and like crawl over to me and stop like right next to me. And then the second I, you know, closed the text box, she would like spin around and like run, and then I would have to run from it. But no, it straight up killed me while a text box was on screen that I was reading dramatically to, you know, the stream. And so it one hit killed me, and I was like, okay, you know, that was kind of bullshit. And then I get back, and it turns out that not only did it one hit kill me, Sorry, I'm just reading that. It one hit killed me while a text box was on screen, and then once it one hit killed me, it didn't like respawn me at the chase scene. It respawned me all the way back before the 4 bosses, and so it took me another like 4 tries to get back to the chase scene. And then I was like, no, what? Screw it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read a thing basically telling me how to go through this, because I do not want to deal with having to fight this boss again just because I accidentally touched something and, you know, got killed by it. So I was like, yeah, this thing is bullshit. And so, yeah, that last boss of Parasite Eve really soured me on it. But yeah, the thing about Metal Gear Solid is I beat Metal Gear Solid on stream, and it's probably like, you're right, it's about 4 hours. I think I beat it in like 5 because I was talking to chat, and, you know, I like went and used the bathroom and, you know, all that. And I died once on the helicopter boss. And so... yeah, but that's the thing about it, is that Metal Gear Solid, fantastically paced game. Absolutely amazing. And so yeah, that's the main issue with it, is it's just... Parasite Eve is just too long, and that last boss is way too hard and kind of comes out of nowhere. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1 is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I love that game. I beat it many times. The time I actually beat it on the PlayStation 1 on stream, it was actually the first time I'd played the PS1 version. But yeah, it was great. You know, I loved it. Yeah, you said you'd played it, and have you played the second and third games, or had you just heard about them? And welcome back in, Dr. J. How you doing? You only played the first game? Because, yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah, like, I liked it. I just feel like it dragged on too long. That's the main thing. Yeah, was this... yeah, this is the drugstore. Oh. Weirdos. Weird cultists. If you're going to focus on PS1's games, you do recommend Symphony of the Night. Just have a feeling you might have trouble with how challenging it is. You couldn't beat it, but you acknowledge that it's great. Yeah, you know, Symphony of the Night is something that I've considered, you know, maybe playing at some point on stream. I don't know, you know, maybe I could get around to it. But yeah, I've actually played a little bit of it on the Sega Saturn on a translation, and I was like, this is great. You know, like, I was debating between, you know, doing this just because I was like, I want something I can just idly talk to people with, or, you know, playing Dino Crisis or Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and ended up just choosing this. So Final Fantasy Tactics, eh? It is back on that shelf. Legendary Dragoon is one that I have never played, and I think I might have downloaded on the PS3. Let's see here. So I guess this is where I'm supposed to go. Yep, here we are. Who? Are you Ness? Ness, I'm glad it's you. I had a dream that a boy named Ness was my destiny. I know it's hard to believe, therefore I knew you would rescue me. If you didn't come, I would have had to try to bust out of here. You can't open the lock. You'll have to get the key from Car Painter. He's got it hidden away. I heard Car Painter can control lightning. In that case, you should wear this Franklin badge, okay? Franklin badge? Where is it? Okay. But yeah, Tactics seems like a really great idea, and I'd love to play it at some point.
Hey, yes, you just heard about me, aren't you? You can call me Master Picker since Mr. Carpenter made an pleasant person and happyism. You should join us, but I know you won't. I'm glad I joined, but I'm not gonna fight you because these guys will. Later, potato.
You've watched the playthrough of it. Okay. What makes it a good game? Because I actually haven't heard much about it. Yeah, I think Mega Man Legends is buyable on the PS3 for fairly cheap, if I remember correctly. I actually was kind of tempted to play Mega Man X4 on stream. I haven't played Mega Man X4 in a while. I've never beat it as Mega Man. Question of the day: is anyone getting the PS5 Pro? At the current price, no. So, I know Zelda in our stream was actually trying to get the like, the fuck was that called? The 30th anniversary edition. Because, yeah, the 30th anniversary edition, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool looking. And, like, I feel like they did a really bad job of announcing the 30th anniversary edition. No. No, because, apparently so the 30th anniversary edition was actually $1,000 because it came with the console, the disk drive cover, the special edge controller, and like some extra just trinkets. And that apparently went through it super fast. But yeah, the scalpers just ate them all up. I don't think anybody besides scalpers pretty much got any. And that's the thing, is I kind of would like to have the PS5 the PS1 themed controller. You managed to actually get one of them. Are you talking about the 30th anniversary edition bundle or the Pro, the special edition Pro bundle? Wow. Cool. How did you actually succeed at it? Because I know people were saying that, you know, they came in literally at like the first second that they were supposed to go up, and it was like, you have been added to the queue. Your wait time is, you know, like an hour or whatever. And then once they got to that hour wait time, that it literally just like was like, nope, sold out, never mind. Well, that's cool. Is it something that you wanted it for yourself, or were you gifting it to somebody, or were you going to sell it? Because I mean, when I had to get my RetroTink 4K, it was one of those things that I ended up having to like refresh it like crazy because for a while it was really hard to get those, and so yeah, I actually got it like in the first couple minutes, but I had to use like 2 browsers and incognito mode, and that's how I finally got it to work. Because yeah, that was the thing that was really shittily done, is I had no idea that it was even going to be coming up for sale anytime soon. Because they're like, oh, we're announcing the PS5 Pro and it's coming out like in November. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I guess they'll, sell it later. And then they're like, the 30th anniversary edition. I was like, all right, cool. And then like I woke up one day and it was like, oh yeah, they've all sold out. I'm like, huh? I didn't even know they had listed them or even talked about listing them, let alone, actually doing it. So yeah, it was very, very surprising, kind of confusing that it just went up sort of out of nowhere. So the problem that you have, and yeah, it's a problem, you collect all the PS5 controllers. Because yeah, this is the only one I have, the like pink controller. It's the only one I have that's not white. But yeah, I was kind of interested in what was that white one that had the like, it was like a white one that had stripes that like came up the touchpad like that. That one looked pretty cool. I don't remember what it was for though. That one looked cool, and then yeah, it was yeah, which one was it? Let me see if I can find a picture of it. It was, let's see. Yeah, let me just click through all the dual senses. Oh, never mind. It wasn't white. It was kind of black. It was the Concord edition. And then the Astrobot one was kind of cool looking. The Spider-Man one, I'm sad they produced such a tiny amount of. Yeah, wasn't there another one? I swear there was one that was white. Let me see here. Is there anywhere that's got like a list of them? Color variations. Okay, all versions. Okay. So the LeBron James one was kind of ugly. I refuse to support anything related to Hogwarts Legacy. Spider-Man one was cool. I wanted it, but it sold out way too fast. Never came back. The God of War one's fine. I have the Nova Pink one. The Starlight Blue's okay. Sterling Silver's okay. I do like the Cobalt Blue. The Volcano Red's great. I almost bought the purple. The Astrobot one's cool looking. Of course, the 30th anniversary. The Concord one. Yeah, I guess. Huh. I don't see it. Maybe I am thinking of the Concord one. I was like blending the thoughts of like the Concord one and a different one. Weird. Yeah, there was a God of War one. It had, I don't have that one either. As I said, I only have white and pink. Those are the only two I have. But honestly, my favorite DualShock or DualSense color was this one. Let's see. Put that thing. Why can I not find it? Huh. That's super weird. Oh, there it is. The box got pretty trashed actually, but this one. The orange and blue DualShock 4. Yeah, it was a really nice shade of orange with like blue buttons, blue back, and blue sticks. Yeah, I just wish that. Honestly, I feel like the DualShock 4 is a more comfortable, better controller than the DualSense. If the DualShock 4 had the same triggers that can like fight back on you, and had the haptic feedback, which admittedly has really only been used well by Astrobot, yeah, the DualSense 4, or I'm sorry, the DualShock 4 is way more comfortable to hold. Thanks for coming. I've been waiting for you. I need your assistance to help me make the world blue and change it into a happy and peaceful society. Will you be my right-hand assistant? Yeah, sure. You fool! I've drawn you into my trap. Car painter's lightning was reflected by the Franklin badge. Mr. Car Painter. So my issue with the DualSense versus the DualShock is this. This area right here is pointy, where it like digs into your hand, holding it. So like this edge right here, where like the black meets the pink, that part is like really sharp and pointy. So that's why I feel like where it hits right here, it's uncomfortable. Where the DualShock 4 has those nice rounded handles, and it's actually like a little bit less like this and more like a little bit more spread, so it's way more comfortable. Yeah, like, here, to give you a reference, Super Famicom controller held vertically. Like, if I put it to the bottom of my palm, I can easily do this to it. And like, if I take you know, the dual sense, I can easily do that to it. Yeah, because as you say, I can you know, do that with a Super Famicom controller. Just it's really easy for me to do that. So, I mean, I'm not to the point where like the original what was that thing? The original Xbox controller is still frickin' tiny. Or I'm sorry, frickin' gigantic. Yeah, like wrapping my thumb and fingers around a Super Famicom controller like that. This isn't comfortable to hold it like that, but yeah, I can easily hold it like that. And then, you know, taking DualSense. Because that's the thing, is like, I don't have that big of palms, I just have really long fingers. So like, Super Nintendo controller is like, eh. Since I got the Mani Mani statue, I've been doing particular things. Please forgive me if you can. I just wanted to have a normal life. I apologize to everyone. Here's the key to open the jail in the mountain cabin where Paul is being held. Take this key and go. You return with ramen. I actually, you know, I've never had like true Japanese ramen where you have like the bowl with the fairly thick noodles and there's like the egg cracked in it and all the like big sliced up vegetables. I've never had that. Let's see. Ramen. Yay! So I wanted to show you one of the things. I don't have any with me right now. I actually need to order another box, but let me get an image of it. I need one that's straight on where you can actually read it. While we get this derpy music playing in the background. Speaking of DualSense, Yorkshire Tea did a limited edition. That sounds interesting. I'd love to see that. In fact, I don't know. Did you ever join my Discord? I can't remember, and I'm sorry if you have. Or I'm sorry to spam you if you have. Yeah, let me show you this one. Let's see. Add new image. Food. Let's see. Scroll down to the C section because I've got too much shit downloaded. This. Have you ever had this stuff? This stuff is amazing. So yeah, it comes in that package. It's got like a thing of rice and then a thing of the like yellow goop. I don't know where you would buy it in England, but I end up buying it out of a distributor in Atlanta, Georgia. But yeah, it comes out super good. You might find versions of it where the entire package is 100% Korean. Like, actually, the ones that I've gotten are a lot more English than that. But yeah, if you just look up Hetbahn Cupbahn, the creamy yellow curry, delicious. I've easily gone through like 50 of those over the last like year and a half. Anyway, goodbye. I know something else is on the screen. Somebody else has snuck in to visit. Giga Chadley. Let's see what these idiots say. There are only 3 people remaining. I don't want to stay. I'll get out of here. It looks like almost everyone woke up and left. Sorry about everything. Let's be buddies.
You had a hell of a nightmare. I somehow woke up. Yes, let's be friends again.
Now fuck you, Pokey.
Please answer me. I promise to be good. Okay?
You gonna slow?
Hey, I'd see you, sucker.
Yeah, he's an asshole. It's hard on the eyes to have everything blue. But yeah, just chucked ramen, soy sauce, and random spices into a pot and turned it on. So what I found works really good is if you get just a sec. Let me show you. I've got something. If you take these kind of generic ramen things here, and you combine that, and like you bring it up to a boil. But first of all, you throw the sauce packet, the powder stuff, into the water before you even start boiling it. Sprinkle in dill, garlic, oregano, basil, maybe tarragon, and then once it boils, throw in the noodles and then pour in milk or almond milk, and then just keep bringing that up and down from a boil to where it actually starts to just barely thicken into a sauciness, and that allows it to have a much better consistency. And yeah, it's this weird dance where you have to it starts to almost boil over, you turn it down. It starts to almost boil over, turn it down to where it just starts to thicken up. And eventually when you try and pull the noodles out, they will goop together and kind of clump as they come out. It comes out great. Not necessarily top. Top is a little shittier than Maroshin, but comes out really good. Yeah. I end up using a ton of dill, oregano, garlic, basil. It takes forever to go through the tarragon, but I use a ton of that. So I've cleared out the blue house. What does this person have to say? You really think I was a bad boy? Well, fuck yes. The blue cow thing wasn't such a great idea after all, was it? But yeah, look up, it was called, yeah, I've never had, their other stuff, but the yellow curry is fantastic. Now I want to order more of that because we just ran out of having them. My wife has run away for a second time. I'm such a lucky man. What a douche. Alright, so I need to save in here. Guessed by my funny accent. I like that. I'm trying to remember who it was that I occasionally watched that was actually from South Africa. Or not South Africa, Tunisia. I'm trying to remember who that was. I like how that just says happy, happy. So, I guess the thing is, this game is decent, but the main issue with it is just the combat's really clunky, the inventory system's awful, and if you get lost, the game gives you 0 tips on where to go. Like, if it was a little easier and a little clearer what to do, then yeah, I'd probably think a little higher of it. But as is, it's... yeah. Oh, hi-ho. Where did I have to go? Oh, map. Let's see. I think I had to go up through here. Yeah, this was it. So I've never been off of North America. I've been in Canada, I've been in Mexico, I've been all over the United States, but I have never once been off of the North American continent. And this is what I mean about this game, is look at this. I got the Franklin badge, my inventory, this eraser, the map, the ATM, the soundstone, the receiver phone, and the key to the cabin. And I'm already out of inventory. Like, this game's got way too strict of an inventory. Okay. Alright, let's see here. So... You want to visit Mexico. So, I went to the very bottom of Baja California to a tourist trap. But yeah, that's the thing, is that there's definitely a lot of sketchy places. You want to see a wild snake so bad. You've never seen a snake just out and about? Like, no type of snake at all. Not like any species. Because, I mean, there was a, I thought England was known for adders, specifically black adders. You know, I heard that they were throughout history, and they were actually really good. I mean, black adders are, you know, they occasionally go back and forth as well. I'm making a joke about the comedy show Blackadder, of course. I actually don't know what an adder specifically is. But yeah, just recently, like, in my front yard, there was a, I don't know what they're actually called, but they get called, like, a red racer. They're like a bright red snake, and this thing was like a full meter long, just like laying across right in front of the front door. And then when we walked outside, I like tried to take a picture of it, but it just hauled ass across the yard and went into a hole, and I haven't seen it since. Also, occasionally you'll see rattlesnakes, but usually you just want to absolutely avoid those. And let's see, so there's rattlesnakes, red racers, bull snakes, there's a bunch. Yeah, let me see if I can find the picture that, you know, Chicken Doodle Soup's, I think she posted it on Facebook. Let me find it. Let's see. Where is it? She might not have posted it yet. No, I don't think it's been posted yet. Let me see if she sent it to me. Media. No, I don't think she actually posted it anywhere yet, but it was a big old rattlesnake that was hiding inside a cinder block. I can't find it. Nah, it's not going to be shown. I can't find it. Snack! Let's see here. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid's amazing. You know, Retro Toaster, I think this might be one of the areas that I never did in the game. Yeah, I think this right here might be one of the dungeons that I missed. Because this does not look familiar. I think this might be one of the ones that I was just like, God, I can't figure out where the fuck to go. No, it wasn't that it's cryptic. It's the fact that it tells you, like, hey, you should go back to Tucson. it doesn't tell you to go in here. So it's not that it's cryptic, it's just that I didn't know to even come in here. Yeah, because this doesn't look familiar. I don't know if I ever came in here. I mean, this might be it. It also might be the magnet thing, but just, yeah, this doesn't look familiar. Like, I don't know if I ever came in here. Then again, I gotta admit, this game's a little blah. Like, it's okay. I guess the thing about this game is that it feels like a game that would have come out in like 1989, 1990-ish. But since it came out in 95, after Final Fantasy VI, after Chrono Trigger, after Final Fantasy V, it feels super dated. And every time I'm playing it, I'm like, this just feels like an NES game. It doesn't feel, I don't know, like up to snuff with like the other stuff from this era. Does that make sense? It feels kind of like Dragon Warrior, but it feels like an NES Dragon Warrior. It doesn't feel like, you know, like Dragon Warrior 6 or any of those. So, yeah, it just feels a little dated. And I'm just grinding a bit to make Paula not, you know, super underpowered. Yeah, that's another game that I would love to play is Dragon Quest Warrior, whatever you want to call it, 7 on the PlayStation. It looks super, super good. Was this it? Yeah, this was it. But let's see here. You were saying you love the variety. Yeah, that's one thing I've actually worried about is like, is it hurting me that I'm like playing all over the place stuff and not just being like, well, it's time to play Genesis, like the entirety of Genesis, or, you know, like, all right, now that I've beaten like 50 Super Nintendo games. We're going to move on to like 50 PS1 games or something like that. Yeah, and I've actually wondered what it is, if I'm doing anything wrong or if it's just that he's been doing it longer. Because I'm still trying to get the, channel to get up over that hump where, like, I get people showing up more, I can start having more and more people and theoretically make this actually start to, pay me, because I've done a lot of this and not really made a lot. I do appreciate everybody who, comes in and watches, and also, everybody who subscribes, everybody who's tipped bits. I'm just trying to figure out how we can get this to become more and more sustainable. Yeah, I can definitely see that, you could say Kyle works a little too hard at it in ways. And yeah, I'm just wondering, like, what could I do to make people feel more interactive? Like, do you think adding, stream loot cards is a good idea, or I don't know. Because I like the idea of it. I just don't know if it's pushing too hard too early. And I really do appreciate that, okay, tell me why you're on the fence about it. And I'm asking, like, if you're on the fence about me doing it, or if you're on the fence about it as a company, or, just what you're thinking. Yeah, I'd love to hear your opinions about it. Just in real, I feel it doesn't work in the long run. Not enough people know about it. You think how few people actually buy packs in Kyle streams. I could see that. Yeah, and that's the thing, is it's like that he has... Okay, so you're saying, look at the fact that he has, between like 60 to, 100 people, and how much it actually helps him out. Okay. And how many people are buying the packs, so... So, do you think it's the fact that, yeah, people cheer, and that's the thing that I'm a little, like, wondering about, is that, I know you've done it. I know, Macca's has done it. I mean, he's got, I think, he's got the most. But yeah, it's still just like, I guess, how do we encourage that? Because I've put in a lot of, text-to-speech bits is good. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? I'm sorry. I mean, mine will do that. Mine does that. The 100 bits on mine absolutely do that. I do need to set one that's like what happens when you're over 101. Yeah, I've not really seen many people do it. And I know that's, I don't get a whole lot of people, but I'm just wondering, is that something that you think would pick up as it is, or is it something where I need to hype it up, or? Because yeah, I've got a bunch of them. I spent the time to video edit and did all that stuff, and not all of them have ever been triggered. So do you think that's just that my community is still building, and that would happen more when larger, or is it just or is it that I'm not doing something quite right? Because I'm not trying to, again, it feels weird asking these questions, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, what feels appropriate, what feels money grubbing, when can you ask, when is it too pushy, and I'm just trying to get opinions. That's purely it. Because, yeah, I'm just thinking at this point, it doesn't really feel worth me editing too many more. I've got a few more ideas for them. But as far as bit alerts, I don't know, it feels like if I'm editing more videos to try and, put in that can be used as bit alerts, that it's just like, I don't know, kind of what's the point until I get enough people to where it's a more consistent thing. Because, yeah, let me see how many alerts I've actually got set up. Because, yeah, as far as bits, there's Jonathan Frakes asking you way too many questions. There's, are you keeping up with Commodore? There's the, we are the champions thing from Crystal Light Aerobics. There's what am I fighting for? Human Money, and Leonard Nimoy talking to a plastic rock. So all of those are there. The way you see it, you need to build connections with other streamings by rating. Rating can be important if done in a correct way. If too big of a streamer, it might not make a difference. That makes sense. So that sounds like a good tip. Should I just kind of be rating somebody who's random, or should I try and track down people I know? Yeah, and I actually had no idea who Ash Said Hi was. I was just like, who is this? Why is there a blue check mark? Yeah, Phenomenon, I've been to his channel a couple times, and Sconebone I've actually, hung out a lot with. And then King Argaroth, I know he doesn't usually line up with when I am, but yeah. Yeah, he's a super cool dude as well. She's pretty much the ambassador of Twitch Retro. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Even though I'd never heard of her at first. Junkyard Dave is upcoming. Okay. So that's a difficult one. You prefer people I know, but rating new people not in the community can help loads. And I assume you're talking about somebody like also playing retro or also playing the game that you're playing. Like when I rated, somebody playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because I just wanted somebody who was on the same category. Because, yeah, I will say... Also, I've had this on my mind of, like, you know, I'm kind of idly playing Earthbound while talking to you. I've kind of given up on voicing this because there's a shitload of dialogue in it. But, I guess that's the other question is, you know, should I be playing something more, like, related to what I'm playing, or... I'm sorry, sorry, I got distracted there. Yeah, you know, because, yeah, that's what I felt is, like, I felt like I should play stuff that's interesting to others, and I'm like, oftentimes there's ones that I'm like, I really want to play this, but I'm like, is anybody gonna give a shit if I go over to my shelf and I get, like, Anno Mutuum? And I'm like, has anybody even heard of that game? And... okay, I need to fully admit, I need to fully admit that Earthbound to me is just okay. Like, this is a game that I do want to play some of, but I felt a little obligated. And so, I don't feel like I want to beat this on stream. I don't. And I feel bad about that. You could tell. Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I feel like this is a good game. I will not say that Earthbound is shit. I won't. I will just say that it's a game that doesn't jive with me. Clappy, clappy. Yeah, this cat is very cuddly. As you can see, I can just kind of like hold him here, and he just chills. Maybe he's a little squeezed. Okay, he's struggling. He needs a footrest. All right, there we go. But yeah, he's just a cuddly little orange cat. But yeah, that's the thing is, I don't know, I kind of feel like I've wanted to play Popful Mail, and I guess in my mind I'm like, Popful Mail's a damn good game, very interesting, but I'm like, does anybody know what the hell Popful Mail is? Like, have either of you heard of the game Popful Mail, for example? Oh, okay, I thought it was incredibly obscure. Okay, then I may be playing that soon, because that game is very interesting to me. And when you say king, who are you referring to? Oh, he did? Huh. I did not know that he'd ever played anything for the Sega Genesis. Or Sega CD, I'm sorry. Yeah, and Zophar I absolutely know would. I mean, Zophar is the type of person who's played all sorts of old cool games. And that's the thing is I really, really respect Zophar, but he never, ever lines up with when I'm streaming. Okay, Kitty's being squirmy. Yep, being squirmy. Put him to the floor. Okay. Oh, wrong place. Yeah, I know that is literally what everybody knows him for. I mean, that's probably why people... I don't know how long he's been streaming, but that's definitely why I was like, oh, it's this guy. I would love to watch this person. Yeah, he's on when I sleep. Yeah. Generally, like, I've watched some of his streams while I'm, like, eating food in the middle of the day, but, yeah, that's the thing, is that for the majority of the time, he doesn't line up with me. Now, I can say that I have a somewhat connection to, like, one of the biggest Twitch streamers. But at the same time, I don't know if I really want to connect with this person because I've had personal history that I don't really want to talk about. And so I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird personally knowing one of the biggest Twitch streamers while also not getting along with that person. If that makes sense. I will message you. I refuse to say it. Done. There we go. You have triggered the GameCube Xbox station. All right, let's see if we can get through here. Oh, I should have gone to the healing spot first. Yeah, Popful Mail is a game that I very much enjoyed, and I was actually also debating playing like some Sega Saturn games again. Now that I've got more people watching me, like I think Sega Saturn would be super fun to play more of. Yeah, I need to heal before I do this. That's why I'm kind of heading towards the exit. Yeah, because I was going to say, like, I have literally never seen King Argaroth ever play a console game, honestly. Pretty much everything I've ever seen him play was on PC. I was going to say, if you were talking about King of APOC, I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. Absolutely. But King Argaroth, I'm like, again, I've never seen him play anything for a console. Yeah, and I've realized I just don't have the mentality for speedrunning something. Just generally, I feel like if I tried to speedrun games, I would ruin them for myself, where I would not want to play it. Like, the closest would be Link's Awakening. Like, Zelda Link's Awakening, I could probably do 100% speedruns of if I did a little practice, but I love that game. And I don't want to be at the point where I'm just like, God, like, this boss hit me in the 5th dungeon, and now I have to reset the entire game to, you know, shave off 2 seconds. Meh. And remind me if I'm wrong. You're the channel, Dr. Dre, you're the one that I originally ran into, and you had the like VR headset and you were playing racing games, right? Am I correct on that? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Okay. But yeah, I really, really respect that, you know, you're willing to play all sorts of stuff, and that game looked awesome. I'm sorry, if I ever have to ask questions like that, it comes down to the fact that I have very poor memory of, you know, who is who and what I've told what to. Like, if I've ever been in, like, if I've ever said, like, hey, you know, are you the one that does this? And then, like, 2 months later, I'm like, are you the one who does this? Or, you know, like, I tell you a story about how I rented, you know, rented the PlayStation 1, and that's when, you know, I got to play, you know, Parasite Eve and Metal Gear Solid for the first time or something like that. That's literally me having a shit memory. That's not me wanting to be like, hey, I feel like you didn't listen to me. Let me tell you. No, that's me going like, oh, I legit can't remember if I've told that story. Yeah, I figured. I was just using an example. but I do actually have a black and white CRT. And I think you were asking me if it was heavy, and no, it's not very heavy because it's tiny. Once I finish this battle, I really do want to show it. I will be glad to. I really want to show it to you. And it's not just the... because there's a CRT that's actually in frame most of the time. Like, right there. As you can probably see, there's one right there in frame. But that's not the one I'm talking about. That's a like 15-inch VGA monitor. Now I want to go get this thing now. That's show and tell time. It's teeny. Let's see here. Let's see, let me, Yep. Tiny little CRT. This thing is apparently made in 1985. Still works. Anyway, it gets put away. I just wanted to show that. Yeah, though we talk about CRTs, you know, there's one also right there. Also high PS5. Good little PS5. But yeah. 13-inch professional video monitor right there. Yeah, it sits on my desk at all times. It's like right over there. It is a 1354Q is its model number. I actually would love to do, because I don't know if you can see it back there, but I would definitely love to do a Super Scope stream where I just actually play Super Scope games on that PVM. I could also do some Saturn games on it, but I gotta say the Saturn light gun is kind of inaccurate. when dealing with a CRT that small. Because yeah, I do have this guy. Let's see. In the desk drawer of stuff. Yeah, the Sega Saturn light gun. Also, that can be pointed back down a little bit. Okay. Is that in the same spot? That needs to go a little left. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that PVM I actually bought off eBay for... These stupid bears. I bought it off eBay for about $100, like 2016-ish. I'm wondering if I can just do this dungeon purely with Ness and not bother with, you know, getting Paula back to life. Yeah, probably not. So... Yeah, I don't know if I can do this yet. Yeah, as far as the PVMs, I've actually really enjoyed using them. And that one works great for the Super Scope, but yeah, it somehow works really poorly for the Sega Saturn light gun. And I've not tried using the Time Crisis gun yet. Come on, game, why aren't you dying? Why die? Die now. Yeah, have you used a PVM before? Yeah, they look really great. Like, that's the thing though, is I'm not sure how much of an improvement they are over the TVs with SCART that were available in Europe. I'm assuming that they're still better. But yeah, it's one of those things that, like, since the USA never got anything, well, let me rephrase that. The USA got like 3 CRTs that could actually do RGB directly through like SCART or another way. I don't know how much of an improvement it is. That's the question is, like, since SCART was common on TVs in Europe, how good was it? Like, how good were the TVs that had SCART? I do actually have 3 CRTs that are able to do RGB. I have 2 PVMs. One of them's been in storage for a long time. And then just because it's a 19-inch and I don't really have a place to put it. And then there's also... what the hell would you call that thing? The KV25XBR, I think, was its model number. So it does full RGB, but it had this really, it was like one of like 2 or 3 TVs released in the United States that actually could do RGB, but it didn't have SCART. What it had was this weird connector that Sony called like the Sony 34-pin multi-connector. And it was quite literally, like, do you remember when you would hook up floppy drives, like a 3.5-inch floppy drive, the like cord that would go into the back of the floppy drive on the inside of a computer? Do you remember those? Like, do you remember those floppy drive cords at all? Yes, those. I didn't remember their name, but yeah, the floppy drive cords that would go into the back of a 3.5-inch floppy drive. Those, it used that as its connector, which was super strange. But somebody figured out that you could make... Let's see. Could be in this drawer. Where is it? Oh, it's in the closet. Yeah, it's in the closet. It was a... you could make an adapter that would go from that weird-ass connector that was a female 34-pin floppy drive connector to SCART, like female SCART. And so it allowed you to actually plug in stuff to it. So I have a 25-inch TV, 25-inch CRT that is able to use SCART. And so, yeah, I can then play games that would support at least 240p or 480i over SCART on a TV that was released in the United States. And I know there was also a Bang & Olufsen TV that could do it over SCART again, but it called it Euro AV connector. And that was actually released in the United States as well. So yeah, there was a very, very small amount of them, but most of the ones that were released here were these super expensive PVMs. Like the one that's sitting on my desk, I learned had an original MSRP of like $15,000 in 1996. And it's a 13-inch screen. Of course, I got it for $100 due to the fact that it had been just sitting around. And then the 19-inch one, I actually got completely free. The 19-inch one had belonged to a local hospital that had used it in the colonoscopy department. And it had just been apparently sitting in storage for like 15 years. Because once they got, a professional LCD, they had no need for, a 19-inch CRT on a cart. So yeah, it went into storage and there it sat for a long time. Yeah, I mean, you get to see what's inside it, and it gets to see what's inside you. Yeah, it's a white one. That one is a 1953 MD, if I remember correctly. I don't have any of the PVMs that can accept like 480p and 720p and 1080i. Both of the ones I have can only accept 240p or 480i. They don't have the ability to go higher. But I do have multiple CRT VGA monitors. And some of those can do 1280 by, what is that? 1280 by 1024 or 10... What was it? 1280 by 1024. Yeah, I think it was. And then it was like 1024 by 768 was the one below that. God, why do I remember CRT 4x3 resolutions? But then again, I've got the RetroTink 4K on my desk. Yeah, 1280 by 1024, and then 1024 by 768, 800 by 600, 640 by 480. Yeah, I absolutely have most of the 4x3 resolutions memorized. So this is something that's very strange about the way my brain works. My brain can remember things like the fact that I had my first HD TV that I bought myself was a Sony rear projection, and it was a what was its model? It was the KDS 55A2000. Why do I remember that I had a KDS 55A2000 when I bought that TV in 2006 and have not had that TV in my possession since 2012, but that shit's still in my head. But yet, if somebody is like, hey, my name is Jane, I'll be like, hi, Jane, and then instantly forget it. Like, seconds later, forget it. Like, I can remember the model numbers to all sorts of bullshit. Like this TV right here. The TV that's right here, without looking at the back of that, that is a UN 49 MU 8000. Why do I remember that shit? Yeah, it's a Samsung. Yeah, it's a UN 49 MU 8000. It is a Samsung, like, kind of base model 4K TV. Hey, you want to know what my my plasma was that I got to replace that Sony? That was a TCP 55 VT30. Why do I remember that? No fucking clue. But I remember dumb shit like that. You know, the turntable in the living room that I listened to most of my vinyl on. That is a Technics SLD3. Again, why? Why do I remember this? But yet, I can't remember people I've met in person's names. Ever. I can remember what magic cards do. Like, I can remember specific magic cards. I can recite quotes out of movies. But yeah, you make me pull up somebody's name? Nah. Yeah, I don't get that about myself. I have bizarre memory. Why am I like this? Like, why do I remember weird shit? Yet I can't remember the password to my own external hard drive that I have kicking around in a closet. Yeah, I can see how numbers can be easy to memorize, but yeah, I don't know why names to people are impossible for me to remember. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that, you know, if you actually got me diagnosed, I would probably have something along the, you know, autism spectrum. You know, it's just, I'm pretty sure that I would qualify for at least one of those. You finally got here. This is the second year sanctuary, but it's mine now. Take it from me if you dare. Oh, I slightly remember this. I think I might have actually beat this boss once. Yeah, this is the one of the boss musics. Yeah, most of the music in this game is great. I'm sorry if it's been a little repetitive in that particular area. Yeah, I think this music is kind of referenced in Undertale at one point. Because Undertale is, like, super based on this game. No, back you. Don't ever recover life. Dang it, Paula, you screwed things up here. What does Psi Magnet do? What does it do? Okay. Goods. Chris. This sucks. I say this sucks because it's mostly that, I tried to use Paula's, like, prey ability to help us, and it actually made us blind, which blows. Yeah, I figured this was gonna happen. Yeah, I didn't think this was gonna be possible with these. Let's see here. At least I'm not too far down in level. Yeah, 21 versus 15. Yeah, we're still pretty good. How much money is on us? 32. I guess I'm curious, you know, when I don't know what game I should play, should I just go ahead and put up a wheel or something like, hey, these are the games I'm considering? Because, yeah, I gotta admit, there's been a few times where I'm like, what should I play? And then it's like, they're making suggestions of, like, a game I really don't want to play. So I'm like, I don't want to play that one. But also, at the same time, I kind of am like, hey, if I randomize it, then I don't have to have the excuse of like, well, I didn't play your game, you know, sort of thing. I can just be like, well, it chose that. I mean, I don't own Clock Tower on PS1. I own I own a Super Nintendo mouse. I could play the Super Nintendo version. I guess I'm curious, why does everybody so hyped up on Clock Tower? Like, what is intriguing about Clock Tower to so many people? So it's actually good? Well, that's good to know that it's actually good. So, I actually want to test something then. I want to see something. Super Nintendo mouse was in my desk. No, that's the receiver for the Super Scope. Let me check if it's in the closet. Yeah, there it is. Alright. Super Nintendo mouse. Gotta love ball mice. So, now that we've saved this, I want to try this. I just mostly want to see if this works. Where is it? Clock tower. Yeah. I can use the Super Nintendo mouse. I just want to see how sensitive and effective this is. It's so weird seeing mice on consoles. I also have a Sega Saturn mouse. I just want to see how well this works. I'm not going to play through it very much. Yeah, it is weird using a Super Nintendo mouse. It's been a long time since I've actually tried a ball mouse, actually. I'm not reading this dialogue. I just mostly want to test if this works because I do want to dedicate more time to this because I have been kind of intrigued by this. So you bought one to play Siberia. Siberia. Wasn't Siberia like a Windows game? So left click makes her go somewhere. And right click makes her stop. Okay, good to know this works. Let's see. I also want to see if Casper works with it. At this point, I'm just kind of testing stuff to see if it works with the mouse because I bought this mouse recently. I haven't actually tested it yet. This was actually a game I had a real copy of, but sold it because it was expensive and I needed money. I guess this game doesn't support the mouse. Alright. What else supports the mouse? Oh, where was that game? It was called... Oh, yeah, it's called Mario and Wario, isn't it? It was in the Japan section. Mario and Wario, there we are. Does the mouse have to be in the first port? Yes, it does. Okay, that controls really well. You ever played this game? Because I haven't. Okay, this is actually pretty entertaining. Okay, I was a little slow there. This is weird playing a Super Nintendo game with a mouse. I never owned one of these as a kid. So yeah, the thing is that Wario put a bucket on Mario's head, and so you have to help him survive. Yeah, this game's strange, and I actually find this very entertaining. Is this interesting to watch? Is the question. I really appreciate that. I just wanted to try something else. Just play around with the fact that I own a Super Nintendo mouse. You're here for Cedric. So you only watch when he's around? Or they're around, sorry. You came to visit the retro tank. Well, you can visit the retro tank. There. Hi, there's the retro tank. You know, the thing that's kind of funny is the retro tank 4K. Literally, this is pretty much all. I'm glad that I was entertaining. I wonder what the name of this character is that I'm actually controlling. And yeah, I just needed a little break from Earthbound. This is definitely entertaining to me and weird. Oh, come on, mouse. Respond. Stupid ball mouse. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to play a little bit more of Mario and Wario here. And then after that, probably raid out. Yeah, I just wanted to try something a little different and play with the Super Nintendo mouse that I own, because why wouldn't I use the Super Nintendo mouse? Actually, I'm not sure if there's any difference. This is labeled... I bought this from Japan. But it's labeled and looks like the Super Nintendo one from the USA. So I'm very curious on that. Like, if there's actually any difference. Yeah, like, it looks the same. And it has the SNS 016. Where, like, my Super Famicom controller is SHVC 005. So that's what I'm getting at, is that it's labeled like a USA mouse product, not what you would find on, you know, the Japanese ones. Because yeah, this controls perfectly fine, even though it's a Super Famicom mouse connected to a USA console. But yeah, we've had our Super Famicom, Super Nintendo silliness. I think it's about time that I go ahead and find a raid target. Let's see here. Let's see whom is available. Actually, I have an idea. Let's take a look. I'm gonna see if anybody in the stream team, the Jankers, is actually playing. I don't think I've ever rated games with Johnny, so let's do this. Let's do this. That sounds good. Though, I'm gonna make that annoying music stop. So yeah, let's go ahead and send a raid over to Games with Johnny, who is playing, looks like Caveman Racing for the Mac or PC. So that looks odd and interesting. So yeah, let's go ahead and send a raid over to them. And yeah, I'm thinking, I might actually play Popful Mail tomorrow, or some Super Nintendo game. I'm not sure. I've just realized I pretty much just want to play what I want to play, and I think that's going to be best for me, because struggling to try and conform to what others want me to play is sometimes not the best. But I really enjoyed playing Mario and Wario. It was silly. But yeah, thank you so much for the stream, and thank you everybody for coming in and talking and helping me through my thoughts and all this. I really, really appreciate it, and we'll see you around. Thank you. Once I click the start raid button. I'm stupid. Yeah. So I guess we're going to wait around a little bit longer while I wait for the button to actually work. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming in, and really appreciate it. And we'll go ahead and send the raid over. And yeah, thank you everybody for coming in. All right.